Okay, so I'm fitting up this intercooler and I can't believe it fits like this. I swear on my life, this is like what intercooler dreams are made of. Hang tight, we'll get into this in a second.
For the rugged, for the rugged, for the rugged, for the rugged. Been a little too nice for y'all. Now I gotta up price on y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. 8-6 all the hay. I won't get involved today. Got lost in the ball and A's. I'm flipping the balls. I'm flipping the all record, off record. I still count.
Okay, we're back and I started pulling some stuff off the Z, the front bumper and some of the inlet, like intake piping pieces. Just trying to figure out, you know, where I'm going to run the intake pipe and basically how the intake system is going to go. I really have no idea. Originally, we had bought this gigantic intercooler. Then we started thinking, like with the small piping and the fact that we are pressurizing all the way from the back of the car to the front of the car, we also have to pressurize the intercooler and then the inlet tubes. It just seems like a lot of air to move before we actually get pressurized air. I'm looking at it right now and it does look like the intercooler we bought might fit nice. So I don't know, maybe we'll try it. It wasn't like crazy expensive and it's kind of laid out sort of like how maybe the GTRs or some of the other cars like that are, with it's kind of like a vertical flow style intercooler where the air actually, you know, can come up and go through and then we can split off to the two intakes. I think this might look nice. And worst case scenario is, I guess it could make us spool a little bit later because we're now filling up this huge block of intercooler with air. But it will probably keep the air temps down, so I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like I said, we're sort of learning as we go. I think I'm going to see if it fits. And if it fits, I think we'll just run it because we already have it. And I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Then I can tell you if it's absolutely horribly laggy. We'll know that that might be one of the culprits, but...
Say to the world I'd die if we were falling apart. Going to work, smiling as we're falling apart. Lie to your friends as fine as we're falling apart.
Okay, so now that I got these intercooler tabs welded up, I'm just going to make some marks and drill and tap this aluminum cross member so I can bolt it down and then it doesn't move anymore, because the last thing I want to do is start fitting up pipes on both sides and then realize I'm a little off one way or another. But it's pretty hard to figure out where the dead center of this car is, but I was able to notice a few things that kind of indicated center and figure it out. So I think I got this thing as dead center as I possibly can. Mark my holes, drill and tap them, and then we'll go on to some boost piping next. Okay, those worked out like super well. They just hold it like really nice in place. I'm pretty sure I got that thing like dead center as possible and it looks super level. So we're good. It's a little bit hard to mount like an asymmetrical intercooler like this because the bottom's angled, so it kind of gives you like a weird illusion of straight when it's not. So you have to just take good measurements and trust it, and then usually it pans out. But I am super happy with how that sits. I do kind of wish that the impact bar didn't block so much air, but the bumper probably would anyway, and this is already super overkill for as much, you know, boosting as we need to cool. So, alright, on to the intercooler piping, which is the most exciting part because it's just so fun to like weave through super tight spaces. I didn't really show this on the video, but I took a hole saw and just stuck it in there, and I oblonged these little triangle holes. They used to just be a little bit too small for piping. So I just ran the hole saw against the side of here and stuck it in there, and then voila, piping fits very nice. So We got some strange angles to deal with, and I've got to get back up to those throttle bodies nicely. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna start cutting some pipe right now and fitting, and we're just gonna get this thing plumbed. Looks pretty darn good. Okay, got that pipe all bead rolled and looks pretty good. I think I got them like pretty symmetrical. Okay, you saw the last clip of the intercooler going on, and we're all done with that. It's the next day, and I thought I'd show you where we got to. Okay, so we had a few things that we wanted to change after initially putting it up, and one of them was this oil line that went up and kind of like over the control arm. It started to kink just from the weight of the hoses, so we just decided to run it down under, which was like no big deal. We just moved it under the control arm. So that's now routed kind of under the control arm. It looks like, I don't know, it just doesn't kink, so that works better. That was thing number one. Thing number two is we talked about last time how Steve, you know, wasn't exactly thrilled about how loud that pump was, and so he ordered that other quiet pump. We went ahead and installed it, and it still fits up pretty much in the same place. We actually just stole the bracket off the old pump and threw it up in there. So nothing new there, except for it's like dead quiet. Like, I can't even hear it anymore, so he's pretty happy with that. So that's the other change. Also, we have like the factory like shield thing. We were able to trim just the edges off of it a little bit, and the cool thing is it still will totally fit up here and cover the entire pump from just, I don't know, road grime and splashes and stuff like that. So we're gonna put that back up to cover it. That brings us to the next thing, which is boost pipe. And if you look over here, I have a section of it ran to about this far. So it kind of routes up over the you know, transmission bracket, then up through and around like the solid motor mount, if you guys can see that in there. Just kind of loops around the motor mount. Comes out over on this side, loops around and in, goes up. I added the blow off valve right here, if you guys can see that. And then it goes into the lower portion of the intercooler. So we just have one more section to do, and it's going from, you know, this pipe right here just back to where the actual turbo outlet is back here. Okay, so on the other side of the intercooler piping, I finished up these boost pipes and welded in some mass airflow sensor flanges, and we're just waiting for the clamps to come for the rest of this. Dang, Steve, what's that?
This is a pre-filter. So this should help with any water sprinkles that could potentially get into the intake of the turbo.
Okay.
And keep the filter dry. It's actually hydrophobic, so it should actually repel water. You feel the material? It's so slick.
Yeah, that's crazy feeling.
Yeah, so I'm going to clamp this in the back over the filter.
Okay.
Later. That way it stays in place.
Nice. Holy crap, that actually works.
A little gets through, but not much.
That is so awesome.
It's like rain jacket material.
Rain jacket. Oh yeah, that is what it feels like. It feels like a nylon jacket.
Yeah. Throw this back over.
The turbo kit is installed. We're done. We just finished the last piece of boost piping. Comes under the car like this, all the way up to the front. And now that that's completely finished, all we have to do is set up the rest of the car so that it's ready for boost in general. Obviously, stock fuel system's going to be an issue. We've got to address that. Might as well change some spark plugs while we're there, and a few more things. But we'll do that right now.
Spark plugs, injectors, and we're ready to do all the supporting mods for boost.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record.
awesome return system Jerem fabbed up. Just
Yeah, I kind of cheated. I didn't really want to buy anything, and I just want to be fuel returned right now. So I just welded a fitting onto the top of one of these fuel lines, so it'll make pressure across all the two rails evenly, and then run out to the regulator. Super simple. Cost me like all of $7 in about 5 minutes to make. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, that pretty much does it for the regulator for now. We just have to run like a vacuum reference, but this is done, run under the car. Tomorrow we have to install the actual fuel pump and make a spot for the return and do a few more things. And that's it. That is all she wrote. I'm really, really happy with all the stuff that we got in.
and then we get to blow up the clutch.
Don't say that. Okay, so we got all that stuff, you know, the fuel injectors, the fuel pump, the new fuel pressure regulator, so many things. We got pretty much all that done, and this is it. This is the end of the road. We're completely finished. Next time you see us, at least on a video, it'll be on the dyno. So stay tuned.